We begin with a powerful truth from the German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. This quote is not merely a statement of resilience. It is a subtle indictment, a quiet warning to the current generation of adults. At the threshold of 30, the age considered the peak of vigor and experience, most of us are equipped with every necessary how, from specialized knowledge, carefully cultivated networks, to the seasoned experience of navigating the professional world. But the most painful paradox lies in the fact that these very ambitious individuals are missing a why to live, an inner purpose potent and authentic enough to soothe the chronic exhaustion that gnaws at their spirit. This is no longer the simple physical fatigue following a long day's work, the kind of tiredness that deep sleep can heal. This is a deeper phenomenon, a metaphysical exhaustion, the weariness of the self, the draining of core belief in the meaning of all action. I have witnessed too many lives, deemed brilliantly successful, held captive not by chains, but by the golden cage of the careers and social expectations they painstakingly built. They are the warriors of the speed era, working tirelessly with a belief that has become dogma. Success is a cumulative formula, a game of accumulation. The more assets, titles, or external validation one accrues, the happier one must be. They run relentlessly for the next promotion, to maintain their status, to please influential mentors, and to keep their immaculate digital image flawless. Yet, after all these extraordinary efforts, after conquering seemingly insurmountable peaks, they awaken one morning, look at the material stability surrounding them, and instead of feeling fulfilled, they find only a cold emptiness consuming their inner world. They feel no peace. They feel trapped. The loneliness within the crowd, the hollowness after achievement. They ask themselves, with quiet desperation, why do I strive to the point of collapse, sacrificing precious health and time, only to drift further from my true purpose? Why does running faster make me feel like I'm moving back? This is not an issue of time management or productivity. It is a profound crisis of philosophical action, a crisis of direction rather than speed. This is a growl from the deepest part of the soul, demanding that we stop, redirect the compass, and analyze the pitfalls of external striving, a striving that has gone astray, having lost its true heading. Stepping into the analysis, the first trap we must name is the illusion of misdirected effort. Most of our striving is a form of counterproductive effort because it does not originate from our nature, but targets factors we cannot control or that are completely removed from our authentic self. Our exhaustion stems from constantly battling illusions. To comprehend this waste of energy, we need two contrasting yet complementary philosophical lenses. The first lens is that of Stoicism and the inner choice, a doctrine teaching us about the inner firewall through the most fundamental distinction in life. The sage Epictetus, who experienced slavery, clearly understood the power and limits of free will. He presented the core teaching in the Enchiridion. Difficulties are the things that show what men are. For the future, in case of any difficulty, remember that God has given you two handles to it, the one by which it may be held, the other by which it may not. If it is outside your control, that handle is useless. When we pour our energy into grasping the useless handle, trying to control the randomness of the market, the fleeting nature of reputation, or the unpredictable wills of others, we subject ourselves to anxiety and chronic exhaustion. For instance, in attempting to control reputation, we work to collapse, to build an image of a top expert, yet reputation is entirely outside our control. Similarly, attempting to control the market and money is an act of trying to force randomness to submit to individual will, which is futile and generates terrible anxiety. Or, when we try to control others, we spend hours manipulating the behavior of colleagues or bosses, forgetting that the will of others is forbidden territory. Effort in this context is not motivation. It is painful attachment. To find peace, we must retreat to the inner citadel that Marcus Aurelius spoke of, where our judgment and reaction are the only most valuable assets entirely under our control. The second lens is that of Taoism and the depletion of inner force, a doctrine warning against draining internal resources through compulsion and resistance to the flow. Lao Tzu spoke of the absolute balance of cosmic energy in the Tao Te Ching. The Tao never acts, yet nothing is left undone. The concept of Wu Wei action without effort, is the answer to exhaustion from trying too hard. Wu Wei does not mean laziness. It is acting without compulsion, acting with the natural flow, Dao. When we strive too hard, we try to compel a result, like trying to row a boat against a strong current instead of adjusting the sail to glide with the flow. Our excessive effort is energy burned in the process of creating internal friction against the nature of things. The exhaustion of adulthood is proof that we are living by a compelled action model, trying to be the rower, the wind, and the water simultaneously. This contradiction leads us to another fundamental issue, the confusion in the definition of success. When we speak of success, our minds often immediately conjure images of power or material wealth. But philosophy has warned that these are mere fleeting symbols. We are imprisoned by a modern version of Plato's cave. This powerful story warns that we are chained and accept the shadows, money, fame, status, or what we call social success, as the reality of happiness. We pour out sweat, tears, and health to grasp these shadows, and even when we achieve them, we realize they lack substance, lacking inner warmth. If Plato shows us we are looking in the wrong direction, then the analytical psychologist Carl Jung provides the detailed map for the journey out of the cave and into the light. The true goal of life, according to Jung, is individuation, an inner journey to become the complete person you were meant to be. Jung describes the psyche where exhaustion arises from the irreconcilable conflict between the persona, mask, the perfect role we wear, and the shadow, the repressed aspects of the self. The chronic exhaustion of young adults is precisely the massive energy drain required to keep that persona armor polished, while the shadow constantly tries to break through from within. Inner success is achieved when we courageously undertake shadow integration, accepting that we cannot be whole if we reject half of ourselves. Inner success asks, are you living an authentic life in harmony with your nature? And equally important, Zen Buddhism offers a deep analysis of the value of time and presence. Zen teaches that life exists only in the present moment. When you chase a future success, you waste your most precious resource, your attention, and presence on an illusory goal. Alan Watts expressed this eloquently. Life is not a journey to a destination, but a dance. If it is a dance, you cannot fail. You just have to dance. If you treat life as a race, you must collapse at the finish line. Exhaustion is due to the chronic disconnection between consciousness and the present moment. To transition from exhaustion to purposeful peace, we need three philosophical disciplines for self-reconstitution. The first is the discipline of refinement, practicing the Stoic circle of control. This discipline requires radical, knife-sharp distinction. The Stoics call this capacity for choice. Prohairesis, the mind's sole ability to judge and react. This is your 100% control circle. To practice, whenever anxiety or restlessness arises, execute a sudden halt. Clearly state, definitively, this is a matter of randomness. I choose not to waste energy on this. I let it go. Shift the focus of effort from achieving a result to embodying moral quality, integrity, and dedication in the process. This is not about doing less, but about transforming effort from a straining action causing exhaustion into an action reaching for integrity, causing peace. The second is the discipline of reorientation, the art of the meaningful pause. Modern rest is often passive consumption, which only disconnects us further. Philosophy views rest as a clarity, pause a strategic retreat. Rest is not a reward. It is a prerequisite for achieving the state of Wu Wei. Replace the term rest with strategic reorientation. This pause must be an activity that reconnects you with your nature, devoid of external goals. Practice walking meditation or undirected journaling to communicate with your shadow. The principle of Wu Wei listening teaches that in the pause, we stop trying to find answers. We allow our subconscious mind to work, and clarity emerges spontaneously. The third is the discipline of the self, radical self-acceptance. The deepest exhaustion comes from inner conflict, trying to maintain a perfect mask. Radical acceptance is the most courageous act, the only path to release energy locked in inner conflict. It is shadow integration, accepting that the repressed aspects are not enemies, but messengers carrying vital information about our boundaries and needs. To practice, first analyze and reject the external script by consciously identifying and discarding the ideal self built on the expectations of others. Then, practice amor fati, love of fate, from Nietzsche, loving even your past flaws and failures, seeing them as necessary ingredients for your present strong self. Finally, when doubt or laziness appears, do not fight it, but invite it to the table with compassion. Thank you for signaling. What are you trying to tell me about my current boundary? This act of dialogue is integration, transforming the shadow from foe to ally. Radical acceptance releases you from exhaustion caused by inner conflict. In conclusion, let us synthesize this entire journey. The purpose crisis of the 30 seconds is not a matter of capability or lack of time. It is a crisis of direction and philosophical action, a disorientation on the inner map. We have discovered that exhaustion comes from grasping the useless handle and compelling the flow. True success is the shift from chasing external shadows to integrating inner aspects to become the authentic whole person. Peace is not the absence of challenge, but full presence in the process of living. Do not try to swim faster. Try to swim smarter and with more purpose, following the natural flow. Peace is not a reward at the finish line. It is the means of travel. It is the foundation for building a success that doesn't cost your very soul. If this message resonates with the stillness within you, I invite you to join this community. Subscribe to the channel and hit like, and most importantly, leave a comment. What persona, mask, will you let go of this week to honor your present self? Thank you for dedicating this time to yourself. I look forward to seeing you in the next videos, where we continue to delve into the art of living meaningfully.
The lion launches its attack, but the saddle-billed storks, though slow to take flight, find safety in the open sky.